What is up everyone, it's the guy with no gamertag here, and today I wanted to talk about Rainbow Six Siege. I wanted to give my thoughts on the game so far and also start a series where I almost log my progress on this game. Now, first things first, I am still really enjoying this game. I enjoyed it a lot in the beta, although there were a lot of server problems. I could barely connect and I only got to play for 2 evenings out of the 4 that it was available. Now since then, I've had very few problems with the servers. I can connect every time and I generally can get into games very quickly. However, there have still been problems. I had this one match where it was in the overtime round and for whatever reason, everyone just seemed to lag out almost. What happened was everyone was stuck with a blank screen and they couldn't do anything. In the end, by the time me and this one other player who'd stayed in the game had loaded, it was just us two and it turned into a 1v1 match. Which wasn't very fun because it had been a really tight and competitive game up until then, and then suddenly the server seemed to fart and everyone just backed out because they thought their game had crashed, and it was a bit of an annoyance. I also find the matchmaking on Terrorist Hunt can be a little bit dodgy. I'll find that I'll just go in, I'll click on matchmaking and it will say that I've joined a game session, and then a few seconds later it will just put me back to the main menu. Now for me, I know if I go into the matchmaking again, I'll get into a game, but for someone who's maybe new to the game might think, oh, this feature maybe doesn't work or it doesn't work for me, whereas actually it does. You've just got to go in again, and I think it'd be better if that was fixed. And also, the matchmaking can just be quite slow. I admit there may not be a massive player pool compared to other games that I play like Battlefield and Call of Duty. However, I do think that the matchmaking could be slightly improved in terms of its speed and just some of its stability. I've also had a lot of comments on the beta video where people were saying they were still having the same problems. That has decreased over the last couple of months, but people were still voicing their opinions that they were still having problems with the servers. I have also encountered a few bugs and glitches which I do find really annoying. The main one for me has been getting stuck on inanimate objects. In the same evening, I was playing as Blitz, I broke through a barricade, and then my player got stuck on a doorway. I could not move, and eventually it led to me dying and my team losing the round, which was unfortunate. I also had a moment where I was playing as Thermite and someone had reinforced one of the floor breaches and I got stuck on it trying to put my Thermite charge down. That got quite annoying. Luckily, I managed to actually get myself off of this by taking off the charge. It somehow allowed me to move back and then I was able to breach in. But it was an inconvenience and it was quite annoying. I also had a moment when I was playing yet again on the Hereford base. I got stuck in a corner next to some shelves. Fortunately, my teammate was really helpful and he told me if I went prone, I could then move around and crawl out of the position. But it's still really annoying, and for anyone who doesn't know how to do this, it's annoying and it makes you panic and it can easily be the reason you lose a round. And that's just frustrating. You want to be able to play at your best, and then when you get stuck on something inanimate, it's really irritating, and that is a bug I would like to see fixed. Yesterday I was playing on Bank and I had this moment where I was hiding in the elevator. I was trying to be a bit more of a roaming player, and then I knew where some of the enemies were, so I decided to run out and try and take them out. However, for whatever reason, my player then warped back into the elevator. It seems that there's a weird barrier issue where on your screen you will run out and then you'll go back. I wasn't rubber banding. As you can see, I popped up the scoreboard because I thought I was, and my ping was 62 milliseconds. That is nowhere near high enough for me to be rubber banding. But yeah, I kept warping back, but then when I crouched and walked out, I was absolutely fine and I could sprint no matter what happened, which leads me to believe there's a slight issue with the actual barriers and your player's perspective in that small elevator, because whilst you think you've actually cleared it and run out, the game thinks you're still stuck there. So that is something that would be useful, because it distracted me and I think it possibly led to me dying. Admittedly, the person who did kill me was behind me, so I wouldn't have known they were there, but at the same time it still distracted me and made me a little bit frustrated at the game, because I thought I would have had a much better chance of taking one person out if this hadn't happened, but it did, and unfortunately that was the way it went for me. But overall, my experience with the game has been really fun, and I'm actually starting this log because I want to kind of improve and I want to share my gameplay experience, some tips I find, and also the things I'm doing wrong in the game. Because I am by no means a good player at this game. I am below average. I'm not yet at a level where I'd like to say I'm a scrub at this game, because I'm still quite bad at it. I have a good idea of the tactics involved. I've been watching some of the actual competitive ESL matches, and it's given me a much better idea of how you want to play as a team, and one of those things in defense is actually roaming, and I've been giving this a go with Bandit. I've had some success, but it's been very varied at the moment. The main problem I have as a player is I'm not quite acquiring my targets fast enough, and I'm not able to aim at the head quick enough. I simply need to speed up my reactions and being able to more accurate quickly so I can take other players out quickly. I had a problem where I was roaming. I'd taken a couple of players out, but then the enemy team put the diffuser down and I was completely at a disadvantage because I wasn't acquiring my targets quick enough. I couldn't take them out, and eventually the enemy team won because I was not quick enough in actually getting to the objective. And that's one thing I've learned from watching the ESL matches, is you need to get to the objective quickly. If you're the defending team, you need to harass the attacking team as much as you possibly can. Slow down their attacks so they cannot get to the objective, and that's something I'm trying to do in my own gameplay. But as I've said, I need to get used to being able to aim quickly and be accurate with my shots, because otherwise I'm going to get moments like I also had yesterday where I started shooting someone, they went out of my line of sight, I peeked around the corner and I got instantly headshot. It was fair play to the other dude, he was accurate and he got that instant headshot, and I need to be able to do that to improve my gameplay. I'm also trying to make sure I can tell which map is which. I'm still not 100% sure on all of the names of the maps. I got Cafe Tchaikovsky and Bank and Consulate mixed up. They have some similar aspects to them and I got them a bit mixed up, and I wasn't sure what map I was playing on until I spawned in. Knowing what each map is by name would be a very good way to actually improve my own gameplay in this game. I also need to learn the camera spots on the map. I find that I have a general idea where they are from where I've used them in game as a defender. I'll know roughly where the cameras are positioned, so I have an idea of where I might need to look to take one out. However, I'm still a little bit confused by some of their locations, and I do need to go and find them in game. And it's something that will improve my gameplay as an attacker a lot more, because it will prevent the enemy team being able to firstly spot my team, and also being able to work out who they're playing against. Because that is one thing I've learnt very quickly on in the game, is that you need to get as much intel on the enemy team as possible, because then you can know what they're going to play like and then counter it. Because if you know that there's a mute on the other team and you've got a Thatcher, you know you want your Thatcher to be surviving long enough to get towards the objective so they can get rid of the mute devices, otherwise you're not getting into there. I found also that castle and mute are a very dangerous combination, because if you have the castle barricades along with the mute devices, reinforced walls, it makes it very difficult to get into the building. And that is something that I had to learn actually spectating my teammates where I joined in a game late, was that actually that is a really hard combo to counter unless you have a Thatcher or a Sledge. And that's the thing, you need to be kind of aware of how other teams are going to play and how that is going to influence the game, because I realised that if you know what the enemy team are playing as, it gives you a much better idea of knowing what to expect. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think of it. Do you like it? Would you like me to continue it? And also, are there any things you'd like me to improve on this Rainbow Six report? Because I would like to continue this series. I think it'd be quite an interesting series to see how I improve as a player, or maybe not improve. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, this has been the guy with no gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.
Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful. Op 4 has deployed a diffuser. You need to destroy it.